Russian Sukhoi Su-35 fighter breaches Estonian space over the Gulf of Finland. In response, NATO jets take to the skies. A Russian fighter violated the airspace of Estonia, a member of the EU and NATO. This was reported by the Baltic countries' army, according to which last night a Sukhoi Su-35 entered Estonian airspace without permission, flying over the Baltic Sea near the Juminda Peninsula for less than a minute. The violation took place at the same time as the largest military exercise of the year in Estonia, the Hedgehog exercise, which was attended by over 16,000 military personnel from allied nations. Following the episode, the Foreign Ministry in Tallinn summoned the Russian charge d'affaires to deliver him an official note of protest. From Estonia's point of view, this is a very serious and regrettable incident, completely unacceptable, said Foreign Minister Margus Tsahkna. The military said it was Russia's first violation of airspace this year. NATO planes immediately mobilized to intercept the Russian fighter. Specifically, the reflexes of the Atlantic Alliance were activated through the Portuguese F-16 seconds of the NATO air security mission, stationed at the Amari base, which carried out a reconnaissance flight. American General Guillot sounds the alarm. A war between the US and Russia is plausible. General Gregory Guillot has sounded the alarm about a possible war between the United States and Russia. In a written statement delivered to the U.S. House Armed Services Committee, as reported by Newsweek, he stressed that there are many plausible paths that would lead to direct U.S. military involvement after 3 years of war between Moscow and Ukraine. The general, who is head of the U.S. Northern Command and the North American Aerospace Defense Command, spoke of a growing risk of mistakes that could trigger a larger conflict. For the general, the critical fronts are different. In his document, Guillot also brought up China, Iran, and North Korea. The three countries, together with Russia, would try to avoid an armed conflict with the United States while trying to discredit the West. The chances of armed involvement in Ukraine by the US would also increase from the fourth year of the war onwards. The general also spoke of other situations that could lead to an escalation. He cited the frictions between Taiwan and China in the South China Sea, but also the tensions caused by the clash between Hamas and Israel. Middle East, hundreds dead in Israeli raids. Trump says in Gaza they are dying of hunger. Israeli raids on Gaza have killed more than 250 a day ago, according to the Palestinian authorities, in one of the deadliest phases of bombing since the truce broke down in March, while a new ground offensive is also expected soon. US President Donald Trump, who today concluded a tour of the Middle East with no apparent progress toward a new ceasefire, acknowledged Gaza's growing food crisis and the need to provide aid. We must also help the Palestinians. Many people are starving in Gaza, so we have to look at both sides, he said. When asked if he supported Israel's war plans, Trump said he expected good things next month. Netherlands invests over $1 billion in Leopard 2A8 tanks. The latest news on the Netherlands. The country has signed an agreement worth more than $1.1 billion for the acquisition of 46 Leopard 2A8 tanks, signalling its intention to restore a full-fledged armoured battalion. Delivery of the tanks is scheduled between 2028 and 2031 and will operate from Germany's Bergen-Hohn base and will be part of a renewed focus on defence modernisation. For now, it remains to be seen how this investment will reshape the Dutch military force. Greenland, NASA discovers US nuclear base under glaciers. It was top secret. A NASA team has discovered the remains of an American nuclear base built during the Cold War, the Camp Century, under the glaciers of Greenland. The Wall Street Journal writes that the discovery dates back to last spring, when scientists were testing a new radar system over northern Greenland and detected something unusual. In fact, in the depths of the ice cap, there were some settlements connected by a network of tunnels, like a past civilization frozen in time. More precisely, 21 interconnected tunnels that extend for almost 3 kilometers, dug directly into the ice sheet. A base powered by a nuclear reactor that had been dragged for over 210 kilometers through the ice sheet. Accommodation, a gym, latrines, laboratories and a canteen that housed about 200 soldiers. More than just a relic of the Cold War. Camp Century is for the Wall Street Journal a reminder of the long presence of the United States on the Danish territory of Greenland. Denmark had to cede part of the territory to the United States to maintain sovereignty over Greenland. But US President Donald Trump is going further. He criticized Denmark for failing to adequately protect Greenland, the world's largest island, and threatened to occupy the territory by force in the name of American national security. The United States already has the right to establish bases in Greenland under a 1951 treaty with Denmark that allowed it to build Camp Century. During the Cold War, the United States had 17 bases in Greenland, including Camp Century, and kept about 10,000 soldiers there. Today, the number of soldiers is reduced to less than 200 in a single base. The presence of US nuclear weapons has historically been a source of friction with Denmark. At the time, the US military did not disclose to Copenhagen, which had declared itself a nuclear-free zone. Thank you, and please don't forget to subscribe.